What's up, guys? It's Justin Kraft, Director of Instruction at Spring Hill, owner of KraftyGolf Studio. Today's video is really about a three-step process we can use to build a really simple and efficient backswing. So I recently posted this video online and it got some interesting comments. People said, that's no way to do a backswing. That's a terrible looking backswing. You're gonna ruin every golfer that sees this video. And so I wanted to kind of give an explanation and talk about why it actually might help more people than others think. So the first step in this whole process of building a backswing is really getting this club face in a position where the golfer can do other useful things throughout the swing. We got to remember, golf is a target game. And so wherever the ball goes, we're going to make compensations based on that. So if you tend to have the club face too open, for example, I promise you're going to find a way to start swinging that club to the left, cutting across it, coming over the top to get the ball back online. Of course, if you swung on plane with an open club face, the ball's just going to go way to the right. So the first step in this whole building a backswing process is going to be to set the trail wrist back in what's called extension. So you can flex a wrist in this manner, and you can extend your wrist in this manner. So this would be flexion, this would be extension, okay? What I'm gonna ask you to do is learn how to bend this trail wrist back. At the same time, we're gonna try and keep the club face in a position where it is parallel to our spine or to our back line, okay? So what's going to happen is this lead wrist is going to go into a little bit of flexion. The trail wrist is going to extend slightly. Now, as we do this drill, we're going to try, again, match that club face up to the spine, and at the same time, get the shaft somewhat in line with the alignment stick I have on the ground. We wouldn't want the shaft to be angled too far out to the right. We wouldn't want the shaft to be angled too far to the left, okay? So we're trying to set these alignments up with the wrist right away. If we can do that and then maintain this, what's going to happen is we're going to have a really nice wrist structure at the top and then through the golf ball too for really good looking impact dynamics. Okay, so there are a few training aids that will really help with this, and one of my favorites is the Pro Sender. I do not know the owners of or the creators of the Pro Sender personally, but I love their product. This is not an advertisement. But if you were to take your setup position with just your trail hand, this would be a really good way to train this. All we're going to ask you to do is find the cradle. That's really essentially step number one. So the Pro Sender is a really nice way to set that trail wrist in that perfect position so that the shaft is in a good spot and the club face is in a good spot, setting us up for the rest of the backswing. So step number two in this whole process is going to be adding some depth via some turn in the backswing. So turn is really going to supply the depth to the handle of the golf club. So this would be depth, this would be height. So the more height we get, this is typically what slicers do, the more we're going to tend to come a little bit more over the top. The more depth we're able to achieve, typically the easier it is to swing a little bit more from the inside. So step two in this whole process, after we get set up and we bend that trail wrist back, get that face and that shaft in a great position, is we are simply going to turn the body as much as we can. So you can see this looks quite ugly right now. I totally understand that. But what we're doing is we're supplying some depth to the handle of the golf club and the club head at the same time. Okay, so this would be a swing with no depth. Arms are gonna go straight up. Now I have nowhere to go except over the top. So here's what we're gonna do. Instead of that, we're gonna do step one. Here we go. Now I'm gonna turn my body without lifting anything. So really, we've got two horizontal components here. We've got the bending back of the trail wrist, and now we've got the turning of the body. Both of those things so far have helped us do two things. One, they've helped us aim our swing a little bit more from the inside, and two, they've helped us get the club face in a slightly stronger orientation, okay? So step number three is going to be the folding of the trail arm that helps get the club a little bit more in the air. So really, this whole drill is two horizontal components and one vertical component. So as we do this all together, what it's gonna look like is we're going to go step one, bend the trail wrist back. Step two, add some body turn. Step three, fold the trail arm slightly. Now you can see we're in a very nice top of the backswing position where all we have left to do is swing back down to the ball, and this club is going to stay in a shallow orientation because of the depth that we built and because of the orientation of the trail wrist being bent back significantly. That's going to help us keep the club head further behind us in this fashion, okay? So again, step one, trail wrist. Step two, build the depth with some turn. Step three, bend the trail arm slightly, and now we're in a perfect spot. So when you put it all together, it'll tend to look like this. And especially for beginner golfer, this is a great way to learn how to start building a little bit more of a draw pattern into your system. So especially if you're a player that slices the golf ball, this is a great way to start closing that face. So just like the comments I got when I last posted this video, you might be saying, Justin, that backswing looks terrible. Well, I agree. It's not the prettiest thing in the world to see someone do this, and then this, and then this. However, if you were to blend all of those motions together, what you would tend to get is a little bit more of a backswing that looks like this. Now I ended up in the same spot, but at the same time as bending my trail wrist back, I added some turn. At the same time as I added some turn, I added some trail arm bend. So as I did that, it looked a little bit more neutral, a little bit more natural. In my opinion, the golf swing is more about function than aesthetics. So even if it does look a little bit weird, if it helps you get results, that's the way you should do it. So those are the 3 steps needed to build the simplest backswing. If you liked today's video, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. We'll see you next time.